Williams.
I mean, it wasn't a big surprise after the Bears moved Fields to the Steelers. We all knew where he was going. Congrats to Caleb. Hopefully he takes that shit franchise, takes them to new heights. But I'm a Packers fan, and we still own them. And even with Caleb, I think we would still own them for whenever Jordan Love decides to retire. So, congrats Bears, but we still own you, bitches.
Detroit cheer for Caleb Williams, hugging his family, and he is the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Kid who went from Oklahoma to USC when his coach Lincoln Riley went there. Followed him to USC.
I did not know Spencer Rattler was drafted in the second round.
Wasn't the way he wanted it to go in terms of wins and losses.
He was backup for Spencer Rattler at one point. That's crazy, dog.
Undeniable. And Bears fans, yes, he's about to put a Bears hat on and introduce himself
to the
world and head to Michigan Avenue.
Allegedly, the next best thing since
he's excited to get this journey started.
Since Patrick Mahomes on.
With Caleb Williams, people have talked about the nail polish and the flair that he, the way that he dresses, and he made so much money in NIL. I can tell you from experience, this guy has a competitive fire in his eyes. And ever since I talked with him as a true freshman when he was at Oklahoma, this is what he has been dreaming of. Not only this moment, but being the #1 pick. This has been his goal. He wants to go to an organization, and as he told me, change the culture. He wants to be that engine for the Chicago Bears.
Do you remember the name Johnny Lujack at all? Johnny Lujack was the last great Sid Luckman. That's the name. The last great quarterback the Bears had that was consistent. Sid Luckman.
You know what's surprising? They kept Eberflus. I mean,
they had it in Jim McMahon. It didn't
you know what?
Except for
Eberflus deserves to stay another year.
They thought they were going to get the long-term run. This is
based off that amazing turnaround he did.
Starts here with
towards
Caleb
the
Williams.
middle of the season, because it looked like they were
learn about Caleb Williams from the end of the season to when you really got to spend time with him to now? And they said a couple things. Number one, we talked to all of his teammates at Oklahoma and
honestly,
at USC, and they
y'all
love
still
him.
gonna be trash.
That was the first thing. The second thing was, I don't know if anybody's had more noise and more chaos around him, more negative attention, and he was so steely focused. He did not get sidetracked. It didn't even bother him. He just powered right through it. Kind of ironic that his career begins getting more noise. And
look at this staff. Look how uncohesive everybody is. Like, I don't see any family values in here. I don't see any, like, look at that. That's a simple handshake. Like, there is no love in this organization. And that's why you guys suck.
More chaos around him, more negative attention, and he was so.
Chicago Bears, and as he makes that of emotion, the yell, the scream, the hug, and that's what this moment, that's what.
24 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Jayden Daniels, quarterback, LSU.
So it is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner.
Jayden Daniels from LSU. Is Eric Bieniemy still the coach? I'm not sure if Eric Bieniemy is still the coach over there. I'm not even sure who the head coach is anymore in the Washington Redskins. Oops. I'm just gonna say Washington Redskins. You guys are a joke. Commanders? What the fucking name is that? It's a joke. Jayden Daniels. Whatever you do everything the opposite of what RG3 did. Because they fucked him over. And I was an RG3 fan, and it was so fucking. I'm not a fan of the Redskins at all, but I was so fucking like distraught because that dude was a freak athlete, and there was so many plays that were taken away from him because the Commanders were fucking morons. when they drafted him. So Jaden Daniels, hopefully you learn from RG3's situation. And hope you have a long career, man. You know, don't play hero ball. I know the Commanders are gonna probably fucking make you play hero ball, but fuck, dude, careful out there.
Out of the green room after his predecessor winning.
Apparently, he's really good friends with Bryce Young.
Washington Commanders, DJ.
This has just gone
I don't
from
think
an
that's a good thing.
unwatchable offensive product to must-see TV.
Just based on, I mean,
This playmaker
not Bryce
at the
Young,
helm
the man.
of this
Bryce
offense
Young,
to
the
be led
football
now by Cliff
player, is
Kingsbury.
terrible.
He did this the hard way, guys.
At
This
least
was not someone who
in his
just
first
jumped
year.
on
I'm
the
not,
scene in college
you know,
football and took college football by storm.
I'm just calling it how it
He earned
is.
his way.
He was
got
terrible
better.
his
He
first
changed
year. I hope he gets
schools.
better, but
you talk to the folks at LSU.
if
First one in 5 o'clock in
these
the morning. He's
two
bringing wide receivers in there, using the virtual reality
are of any similarity in terms of quarterback play.
All of that hard work culminates in a Heisman
He's a better runner,
trophy,
apparently,
and now he's the
but
second pick of the draft.
What I love about
see,
Jaden
Best of
Daniels
luck to this
is
dude.
that path that you just spoke about. I covered him when he was at Arizona State, and there was so much optimism and hope for Herm Edwards, you remember, and that
let's see
staff.
this
And
film.
then all of a sudden, COVID kind of derailed that.
At the position,
6'3",
12,000 plus pass yards,
210 pounds,
3,000 plus rush yards,
just
and what
about
I
the right
love about him
size.
is the steady progression that he made from his time
Maybe
at
he could
Arizona
get a little
State
bigger.
through his
We get
time
to
at
220.
LSU. Touch, accuracy, timing. He displays that consistently drops the ball down the bucket on those
Good
deep
accuracy.
throws. Has the vision where he can throw with anticipation and timing. We saw it time and time again during his tenure at LSU. Yes, he has some talented playmakers.
Oh, yeah, he's
around him,
fast.
but he might have been
He's
the
one
biggest
fast.
playmaker
Oh, my
on
God,
that
he's
offense.
fast.
Being able to break the pocket, he can create impromptu runs,
But
design
remember,
quarterback runs. He has
it's gonna
all
be
that,
grown men
but also
tackling
the
you
ability to
in the
really
men's
just
league.
stay in the pocket
So,
and make those plays. This is
run
the
out of
new
bounds.
school quarterback, the prototypical quarterback that we're seeing, where it's a dynamic athlete that also is a
So the
refined
Patriots
pocket
got the
passer.
third pick,
Excited
huh?
to see what Jaden Daniels does in Washington.
I think the thing that really stands out to me is you look at the footwork, and it's important to him. I mean, he's really worked on it, and you'll notice the footwork is really good. He finds his platforms when he throws. He goes through progressions.
He does have this Bryce Young
getting out of the pocket too quickly. I think if he
looking
just sees an
pocket
opening, he
presence,
wants to
though.
go get 25 yards, and often he does.
And that's not
he
a good
can.
thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, if you really watch him, he can get through progressions. He can go 3-4 deep. He can get all the way through his progressions. He can
Who's his backup?
sit there and get his feet the way that
I don't know
needs
who he
to.
got
think,
there.
You know, throwing
I don't know if they
outside the
brought in a
numbers for me can
bridge
be a
to
little
help
bit
him
of
out until he takes the reins. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
He'll come up a little light on the gas at times, but I love his command of the offense, and I love the way he gets himself protected at the line of scrimmage, which is a very underrated skill for quarterbacks coming out of college. He commands the field like an NFL quarterback, and
Like
that's
a
what
commander.
I really.
Yeah.
He does. I didn't. But that's why you're in the lead team.
No
You
pun
don't have
intended.
funds.
You missed it. He said pilot the franchise.
come on.
Like,
Oh, I've been
missing all the
sleeping on all these.
Might be happening between Arizona and other teams, or they might stick and pick, but at least we're about to hear who the latest New England Patriot is.
With the third pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina.
Drake May.
So it is the 21-year-old from North Carolina that is going to New England.
So
As
apparently
we all
he's a
know,
Josh Allen
in
type.
2021, the
what
last time we saw
I've
3
heard-
quarterbacks taken in a
from what
row
I
to
hear.
start a draft like tonight. The Patriots chose Mac Jones 15th
Definitely a
overall
big,
in that
stocky
draft.
fella.
An excellent rookie season for him. He did appear in the Pro Bowl that year.
So if he is a Josh Allen type, the one thing you gotta worry about is
Jaguar quarterback room backing
sliding
up Trevor Lawrence, meaning
and accuracy.
This is Drake May's
No
future
doubt he has the arm.
in New England, the kid from North Carolina.
Don't forget to not even wearing a
to
belt.
the
That's how
AFC East, where Josh Allen resides,
that's how
and that is
southern he is. He's not even wearing a belt because he wears
a quarterback he
pants that
idolized
fit.
growing up. And here he is, the New England Patriot
You know what?
quarterback.
I like him already. He's not wearing a belt. I like him already.
For 2 decades, everyone was chasing Tom Brady in that division. Now everybody's chasing
Hopefully he
Josh Allen.
remembers
And
to
they
wear
got
his
a
helmet
big,
when he gets
rugged,
home.
physical, athletic quarterback in New England now that's going to give them a chance when they find themselves in some of those high-scoring affairs. This is an unbelievable athlete here.
All right, now you guys need to get him
As
an
we go-
O-line.
How are we feeling, Bucky?
So there it is, chalk.
North
Tar Heel.
Carolina's in the house.
Let's have it.
I mean, I'm a Tar Heel born, I'm a Tar Heel bred, and
Yeah, that's a big dude. 6'4".
What? I mean, like,
223.
I'm just really excited because this is
big
an
boy.
all-time great kid.
Overall 88,
And then when you look
athleticism
at
86.
the tape in the game and what he did at North Carolina, look, didn't live up to the expectation in terms of the team, but this dude was a stud. Big-time arm talent, big-time playmaker. The comparisons to Josh Allen, to me, are real. He is the prototype at the
Close to
position.
4,000 yards
Size,
in
arm
college,
talent, IQ, personality, leadership skills. He has it
38
all.
touchdowns.
The only thing that he doesn't have
What's his
is the
touchdown to interception
experience.
ratio?
And the inexperience leads to some
16?
inconsistencies.
Okay, 63.
But if you
That's
iron
really
that
good.
part out, you're talking
really
about
good.
a superstar in this league.
Well, that's right.
So just
'cause,
decision
you gotta have
making
that fit
and
check before
accuracy.
You're on the ISO cam walking down the hallway.
And you got a guy.
Right? You had to make sure everything was right. But yeah, I'm with you, Drake.
Someone buy this
There
guy
you
a
go.
belt,
It doesn't
man.
matter now, man, because all that matters is what you do when you get that New England
You got the Pat
Patriot
McAfee
uniform on,
show
and
on
there
in
it
the-
is. Drake
the other
May
screen.
showcasing those Patriot threads for the first time, right? Mac Jones out this offseason and now in Drake May.
Drake
so,
May.
Lance, tell us what we love about the UNC QB.
He's traits. This is
Where's the
Mr.
love?
Trait to the drafted quarterback, size and athleticism.
interesting,
He's got the big arm, unquestionable arm talent, without question. I think the other thing that really stands out when you look at Drake May is he's fearless now.
yeah. He
He's
has arm
got
talent.
guts. Now, as Bucky mentioned, sometimes that turns into mistakes, and he's got to get that under control. But you'd rather say whoa than go, as they say about a quarterback, and he's got plenty of go. He's got good touch and accuracy on the ball, on the throws
Okay,
into the
good
end zone. I think that's something
escapability.
he really needs to work on the short stuff, not
That is
throwing 100
one thing
miles an
Mac
hour.
Jones
But
doesn't
He's
have.
also a creative
Escapability.
player. He's a guy that when he gets outside of the pocket,
You're gonna
he
need to
is
create a
physical
lot
as a
in
runner,
New
but
England
he's
there,
not
buddy.
afraid to try to find
Now that you don't have the
creative
greatest
avenue
coach
to get the ball out. I just
ever.
mentioned the mobility. I mean, it's a big part of who
Gonna
you have
be
to be in
kinda-
today's NFL. You've got to
gonna
be
be kinda
mobile
weird.
enough to not be a statue, to
Not
make
seeing
teams
Bill
recognize that they're going to get
sidelines.
hurt if they blitz you and they miss. If you come at the king, you best not miss. Well, that's what Drake May is hoping to show some people there in New England. But he's going to need time, Bucky. He's going to need time.
Yeah, he's going to need some time just because of inexperience. Like in the last 4 years, he's only played football in 2 of those seasons. Missed all of his senior season due to COVID.
I honestly
played behind
think
Sam Howell didn't get much time as a freshman. Then he played the last 2 years at Carolina.
The
So everyone
Patriots
has to
should have
understand,
picked up
He is a work in progress.
Michael
it's great that
Penix
they have
Jr.
Jacoby Brissett there. There's not the pressure to put Drake May on the field, but
I actually no.
if he
I
comes together with the talent and the traits,
I like
While the Chargers are already a
JJ
minute and a half
McCarthy
into their
more than I
clock.
like Drake
With the
May.
4th pick
But
in the 2024 NFL Draft,
I'm not a scout, so whatever.
the Arizona Cardinals select Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah.
Wide receiver,
Oh yeah.
Ohio State.
This is gonna be a fun team to watch next year. Arizona,
Showroom floor here in the
even though they
Motor
lost
City.
Hollywood, they
Marvin
got this
Harrison
fucking guy.
Jr., one of the more talented quarterbacks ever at Ohio State, hugging his head coach Ryan Day
Did he
as
say
he makes
quarterback?
his way out here on a draft night to go to Arizona. Quarterbacks ever at Ohio State, hugging his head coach Ryan Day as
Ohio State.
well, a Maserati is about to hit the showroom floor here in the Motor City. Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the more talented quarterbacks ever at Ohio
Quarterback?
State, hugging his head coach Ryan Day.
Yo, someone
as
get
he
his
makes
ass.
his way out here on a draft night to go to Arizona.
You
and
lost
become
all credibility,
the prime
announcer.
2 years from now, 3 years from now, this is a number
Yeah,
one
let's go
wide
to his
receiver
fucking-
this year. He's going to be
Go to his
ready to
tape.
roll right when he gets on the field.
just has an ability to man the position
6'3".
like a number one. He is everything that you
Oh, yeah.
look for in
He's
a
a
wide
big dude.
receiver one, and I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gonna have a lot of success at the next level.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the yards after the catch, something that we saw often from him in Columbus. I mean, look at the smoothness in the top of the routes. I mean, that's where
tiptoe.
that craft
That's
comes in, right,
beautiful.
Buck?
He has it. And when
The
you
fact
have a
that
dad
he's
that is a
doing
gold
two,
jacket,
'cause,
yeah,
like,
Hall of
college,
Fame,
you
but
only
just
need 1
imagine
foot.
What those conversations
The
have
fact
been
that
like
he's,
since he's been
like,
little, since he's
emphasizing
first started
2
playing
feet
the game.
in
He
the
has
college game.
all of that stuff, and I think the advantage that he
Oh
may
my
have
God.
on others when he steps into the
He's gonna
NFL
be something.
facility, it won't be too big for him. He knows what it's going to be like. He knows what he's stepping into.
You got
That
Kyler
matters.
Murray. Oh, that's
a
that's
lot of that smoothness,
such a
and
fun
body
team to
control
watch,
that we
man.
saw from his dad,
I'm not a
but in
Cardinals
much
fan, but they're so
bigger
fun to
frame.
watch.
I had a chance to watch
When
him twice.
Kyler
in
Murray's
person.
going, you
First
know?
time I saw him in person, he made arguably the greatest catch I've ever seen in a college football game, and it was on like an out route or an out-breaking route on the
God, he's
sideline
got
where
the
he got
speed
like
and the
foot
size.
you wouldn't
not
expect to
fair,
come down
dude.
inbounds,
Yes.
just inbounds.
Oh my
I didn't
goodness.
believe
That's
it
a
when I saw
one-on-one
it. It was
receiver
so
right there.
ridiculous. But those are the types of
Yeah,
plays that
you gotta
made
double this
week in
motherfucker.
and week out in Columbus
Immediately.
there for the Buckeyes. And I mean, just an absolute stud of a player.
Yeah.
You know, you hear and you talk to people inside their
Oh my
building, and they're
goodness.
like, he is a worker,
Good job
like you
tracking
wouldn't
the ball.
believe. He's not involved. In fact, I mean, his dad was saying, you need to get in there and complain for the ball more.
Yes.
That's not his style. He's not the diva.
No, that's not his style. And you know, I've heard the knock against him that Malik Neighbors has that dog. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't have as much dog. But the problem is that I have with that is just go watch the tape and just go look at the production. With C.J. Stroud, he had X production, which is exceptional.
Yeah.
With a much lesser quarterback this year, he had like
Still
very
went.
similar
Yeah.
production. And we
1,200
hear
yards.
Oh yeah, now you got
touchdowns,
Kyler
almost
Murray
exact.
throwing it.
exactly. And you talk a lot about, well, this guy needs a better quarterback, or this guy.
Hopefully they
Doesn't
fix their
matter who the
O-line
quarterback
problems.
is, he's just productive.
Kyler Murray's tired of
In two
running all
losses
around.
against Michigan. He had 120 and 118 yards against Jim Harbaugh. They're both losses, but touchdowns in both of them. That just goes to show you that consistency, Buck.
That consistency is there, and people shouldn't question the dog. He had to live up to his dad's name.
You better believe
All right,
that.
so
He got everybody's best.
Chargers on the
he
clock.
has.
And he didn't do it tonight.
Oh, they picked up
either.
that-
So
that lineman.
the
The- I
coach
mean, the
of
O-lineman.
championship college team in Michigan is about to make his first choice as a Chargers
Nice,
HC.
I see what you did.
Thank you, brother.
With the fifth pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Joe Alt, tackle, Notre Dame.
Joe Alt.
So they do take the left tackle from Notre Dame, even though Rashawn Slater is their all-pro. But for the moment,
Bruh,
let's give Joe
the
Alt his
Chargers
flowers.
went from
Joe Alt went from
a
tight
pass-heavy
end to a tackle
team
within 2
to
years,
a
was the fifth
fucking
pick in the draft. I
run-heavy
think he'll be
team, dude.
okay
It's gonna be
moving from
hilarious
left
to
tackle
watch.
to right tackle. He'll be able
But
to pull that off. He is
to win
extremely
championships,
long.
you gotta
saw
have
the
a run
dimensions.
game.
He's almost 6'9". This is Jonathan Ogden type height at left tackle. Length and range. You can't get into his chest. He does a great job of keeping his chest
Wow.
clean. You can't overpower him that
That's a
way.
big
In
boy.
the run game for a big
Oh my
guy,
God.
he can roll his hips.
He
get
took that
low,
guy
and
on a
create lot of
vacation,
movement.
baby.
You want to climb to the second level, which you're going to be doing a lot with Jim Harbaugh in this offensive system with the Chargers. He does that as well. They are going to
That's a
protect
big
Justin
boy.
Herbert, and they are going to
That's
give
Peter
Justin
Griffin's
Herbert a
son,
running
dog.
game.
Holy
Two areas
shit.
and two issues that have been there for the Chargers
My
since
God,
he entered
don't
the
kill
league.
her.
That's a
Don't eat her.
fan cam right there presented by Rocket
that's his
Mortgage,
sister or
showing the
girlfriend, I don't
moment
know.
that the Alt family
Definitely does not look
is
like him.
essentially back in the National Football League.
Probably
right?
girlfriend.
So there he is.
Oh, look at his
Alt
dad, man. Look at his
going
dad.
to Los Angeles to protect
Joe Sr.
Justin Herbert, and
Big
start
boy.
road grading for Jim Harbaugh.
You made some great points, Daniel, about what they're going to do. I think, Joel, you were anticipating that if this pick somehow that Arizona passed
All
on
right, look
Marvin
at this.
Harrison Jr.
All right, look at this war room. The one thing that sticks out to me is that I don't know if this is on purpose, but you got all the royalty on this side and all the rest of the people on this side. So that tells you a lot. It's probably the owning family. And as you can see, they're very exclusive. Now, what does that mean? It means that they are a results-based organization, which means this fucking guy, Jimmy Harbaugh, has to produce immediately, or his ass is going back to Michigan. Go Blue!
had gotten out.
I want to hear him sing the
the
song.
wide receiver that would have been discussed right there because Jim Harbaugh saw him for those years at Michigan.
Group, we had talked about him as kind of that wire-to-wire number one. There was some late
Holy
JC Latham
fuck,
love
6'8"?
on the streets there, but it is
321 pounds.
It is
Oh my
Alt
God.
is an extremely safe player when you look at the pedigree. His dad was an NFL tackle. He's got size. He's
big
got
boy.
athleticism. The length, as you mentioned here, as you see right there, range. What they mean by range is the ability to set out and go catch those speed rushers. What's really, I think, also impressive about him is for a taller center or taller tackle, he does a nice job of getting the pad level down and driving from his core. So a lot of times
Yeah, that's a
taller
big boy,
tackles,
dog.
they have
You
a
can't even
hard
fit in
time
that
getting
chair,
the
bro.
pad level
That
down.
chair
They
looked
tend
like
to
a
get stood
beanbag
up as
chair to
run
him, man.
blockers.
Holy
He's
shit.
a Notre Dame run blocker, meaning they get after it and they get the pad level down. And Joe Alt is one of the safer picks in this draft. And I think, what basically you're saying right now with the Chargers is we're going to beat you up front, and then we're going to let our quarterback have a, maybe a little easier. We're not going to make them carry all the load from now on.
This was the most transparent pick that we could have.
Yeah, they're going to be
this was
a run-first football team, but
Jim Harbaugh
smell it already.
He's always utilized the offensive line to really set the foundation for his rebuilding projects. He did it at Stanford. He did it again with the 49ers. And he did it with Michigan, winning the national title. There's no way that he was going to deviate from the formula that's been so successful for him. He goes and gets Joe Alt to now go with Rashawn Slater. They now rebuilt this offensive line. He wants to make the game very easy for Justin Herbert. They're going to run the football, and they're going to lean on their franchise, their superstar quarterback, to just make plays when they need him to make plays instead of just draining everything out of them. The Chargers are on their way to building a bully because he believes that bully ball works, and based on his track record, he certainly has a lot of success doing it that way.
With the 6th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, LSU.
So they do go wide receiver from LSU, just like back in the day.
You know what?
Odell,
I'll give the Giants credit. They,
Malik Neighbors
like Odell Beckham, they've had success drafting wide receivers from LSU. So,
bringing his remarkable
fantasy peeps, he's the guy to watch out for. If you have for your flex, he might be a guy.
That currently will be quarterbacked by Drew Lock until Daniel
92
Jones
overall.
is healthy as it currently stands as he
him
walks
and
to the stage
fucking
I
Marvin Harrison
Daboll before
Jr.
last year's draft, and I said, what do you need to get accomplished? He said, we might be the slowest team in the league. We've got to get faster. We've got to get more dynamic. They made an effort with that last year with Jalen Hyatt, big-time speed.
Well, shit, you all get rid of Saquon. Of course you're the fucking
wide
slowest
receiver in this class.
fucking
Not the
team in
most
the league.
polished, but a big play waiting to happen. That can be throwing the ball 60 yards down the field. That can be literally handing him the ball and watching him run 60 yards down the field.
Well, you just mentioned what they had to do, and they've got all that in terms of the speed and everything else, the dynamicism. But here's the thing for me, Joel, it's the competitiveness. If you've been around Brian Daboll and been around his ball club, they always have competitive periods, ones versus ones. End the day with a competitive thing, who won, who lost. He wants all of that. That's Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
That fits Brian Daboll. Remember, Brian Daboll was in Buffalo when they acquired Stephon.
Turn his game
6
up a
foot,
notch when he needs to. The
almost 200
comparison I like
pounds.
to DJ Moore.
He's got a little bit
is real,
bigger.
but this is a big time
But
playmaker. One
since
that'll
he's a
make the game
speedy
easy
guy,
for Daniel Jones, because he can turn those short passes into big games.
Sure. And
he needs to get like maybe I would say 5 to 10 pounds, just so he could
To death.
just so he could take some
and he was so
hits,
successful on it
because he's gonna be taking
put the ball
some
in his
hits,
hands,
baby.
watch him go. There it is, the slot fade.
Again and again.
Just shows up. And
Yeah.
oh god,
Like that?
Again and again.
Yeah, like a lot of
that?
like
Let me tell you something. When he
None
gives
of the
you that little nine
receivers
to go, you're done.
in the Giants
because
could
if you
get
misstep
separation,
on
so-
anything that he shows you, and he can tilt corners too. That's one of the things I really like about him is the polish isn't quite there as a route runner. Hasn't needed to be. They
fucking
run in
Jones
space
is
a lot
happy he
at LSU. But
doesn't have
man,
to
when
run.
You see what
Well,
he's able
he
to
has
do
deep
with the
threats,
hips,
so
the feet, the suddenness, the burst.
doesn't have to run so
his
much.
ability to accelerate from 0 to 60 is almost instantaneous, and that's something to me.
Is that a slot fade again?
That's another slot fade.
no, that's what they called it against Texas A&M.
You're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of them. But really, he was so much more effective from the slot, but can work outside. And another factor that I really think goes really under discussed with Malik.
Tennessee Titans select J.C. Latham, tackle, Alabama.
looks like the Titans are working on the run game again.
5 and 7, not a surprise
now
either
that
spot. The Tennessee Titans,
now
this
that,
was a glaring need for them. Will Levis needs some help, needs some
Derrick
protection.
Henry's gone.
They were tied for 28th in sacks allowed last
They're
year.
gonna have to
Latham
revamp
is
their
a
entire
mammoth human
run
being.
game. Their entire
Played right
team,
tackle there.
baby.
He's also played inside at guard.
So,
I believe
it's
he'll
a good
be
start.
a left tackle
Can't go wrong.
in the NFL, Charles.
Up front, building
the
up front
upside with
first.
him in terms of what he
think
can
that's the
become,
smartest thing
big-time
you could do.
recruit, big-time talent. I think there's still more there for him.
He's
But
like those things at
the
the
Titans
airport.
are gonna
He's
need
an
a lot.
ATM,
They're
automated
gonna need a lot.
vehicle mover, right? But here's the other part. Bill Callahan
Pretty
was
much
the coach in Cleveland when they drafted Jedrick Wills.
They are in
out of
full
Alabama,
rebuilds,
right
baby.
tackle his college career. They converted him to left tackle. Bill Callahan is now the offensive line coach for
2
the Tennessee
sacks
Titans.
allowed
If you're
on
talking about
97,
converting a guy from
970
right
blocks.
tackle
Oh
to
my
left tackle,
God, what a
and they were going
beast.
to do it last year, but Michael Proctor was
Yeah, let's
there.
go see his
And they
tape.
decided to just leave J.C.
They got a big guy that can play that smash mouth football that they want to play. Bill
Yeah, that's a big
Callahan
boy.
endorsed this pick. J.C. Latham is there just because
6'5", 342. That's a big
dominate
boy.
at the point of attack.
Second offensive lineman off the board is J.C.
Alabama.
Latham, who had really been making, it seems like, a push, at least through draft buzz in the last couple of days and couple of weeks. So much so we thought he might end up being the first one off the board. What do we love about it here, Lance?
What we love about him is he's got strong hands now. When he gets his hands on you, you're probably not getting away once he sinks in. I like the fact that he can anchor up. You see him get wide with the base, unlock the hips, the knees, the ankles. He has the ability, as you saw right there, to deal with spin moves and passes off twists. So a lot of the stuff we show is the passing game. I think the run game is where he shines, and this is why he's my number one tackle on the board. Is he is an elite run
That was a near pancake.
He is a mauler. He stays after. He didn't get you one time. He wanted to go get you 2 times. He's got the attitude to let you know that he is there to whip you time in and time out.
That's a good start, Titans. That's a good start.
I think Alt is maybe a little safe.
Which is probably part of the calculus here as well.
Here we go.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there it is.
Quarterback, Washington.
That is the first surprise of the NFL.
All right. I've heard about this pick, and the Falcons are getting a lot of fucking flack. And I don't care about the flack. That's hilarious. Flack is hilarious. But let's go look at it this way. Chicago was definitely not drafting another quarterback. Maybe Atlanta was in talks with Chicago. Maybe even the Jets. Maybe they could have moved back a bit. Get some extra picks. Because the Jets, I don't know. The Jets could have used someone like a Brock Bowers. I know the Jets picked up a lineman, I believe. They picked up another lineman, and they paid a guy in that same position, left tackle, I believe. So the Jets pick, I don't really. It was a man. I think Brock Bowers. I know they have a good tight end room, but Brock Bowers would have made that an awesome tight end room. So the Falcons picking up Michael Penix here, because you look at the next teams picking, right? Minnesota. I think they were dead set on J.J. McCarthy. Denver could have been somebody that picked up Penix, but I think they were dead set on whoever the other guy was. And then Las Vegas was another threat. But if they moved back and took the Jets' pick, the Jets could have had Bowers. And they could have picked Michael Penix up at 10 and probably have another pick in the first round. So I don't hate the Michael Penix pick. I think there were better ways to execute it. But at the end of the day, the Falcons got their guy. And looking at, hold on. Let's go break this down, baby. Let's go break this down. All right, Kirk Cousins. How long does Kirk Cousins have? Contract. Yeah, Kirk Cousins contract. Oh. 4 years, 180 million. 4 years. And by the time his contract's up, 100 million dollar guaranteed, 50 million signing. Oh my. All right, I understand last year was a huge indicator that you got to have backups. I understand. Completely understand. But the timeline here, like Michael Penix the most I've seen, maybe I think Love 3 years, 2 to 3 years behind Rodgers, but 4 years behind Cousins. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins is injury prone. So is Penix. This was such a, but like the great one said, if you like the guy, you trade up for him. You do it. You like him, go get him. But just the timeline here, it just doesn't fit, man. Like, if I'm Michael Penix, I'm fucking not waiting 4 years, baby. Fuck that. I want to get on there right away. Oh my god. But I agree with the haters. The Falcons have made a buffoon of themselves. And I'm happy about that. Good job, Falcons.
Draft, to say the least.
Let's look at Michael Penix's take.
Spins out of his hand. It is very reminiscent of Joe Flacco and
explosive arm, mentally tough.
Just spinning the football.
He's an older guy.
Ridiculous with his arm strength. This is from the Texas game, attacking over the top down the field. He can play on top of the coverage. This was a
and he had like one
mark.
extra. He had one extra year because of COVID. We all did.
Navigate around some pressure, move around within the pocket. Look at this placement to Roma Dunze down the field.
That only makes it worse.
Beautiful ball. Again,
only makes that
outside
pick
the numbers,
worse.
he's fantastic. Over the top, he's fantastic. And when you need to fit the ball in tight windows, watch him beat the safety with this throw. Again, it looks like he's throwing a Nerf ball.
Yeah.
He has got a ridiculous arm. Now, there's injuries. That's something that some teams were concerned about. His 4 seasons at Indiana all ended in injury.
But the last 2 years,
he's been healthy the last 2 years, and he's played out of his mind. But this is fascinating because we were talking about he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Do you want to get him on the field? He's not getting on the field with Kirk Cousins in that contract.
He's not getting on there right now.
When he gets on the field. All right, you said he throws a great deep ball. I would agree. He throws the best deep to intermediate pass in this draft, but it's more than just a throw. It's a pass. The ability to pass the ball with leverage down the field, when you watch him, everything is always away from the defender. We talk about 50-50 situations with wide receivers. Well, he gives his wide receivers better odds than that because the ball is always in the proper spot down the field. And I think that's
he does have a rocket arm. Look at that spiral.
Long arms, big hands, and he spins it as well as anybody. When you just look at a guy that takes
looking
the
at
ball
him,
and
he's one of those
and controls the game from the pocket. There was
the
nobody
top
better in this
3
draft.
quarterbacks that are ready to play. So.
Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, Washington.
Let's go.
What?
Let's go.
Check out the
Look how
Fam
confused he was.
Cam presented by Icy Hot.
Look how confused he was. Look at the girlfriend trying to play it off. Look at the dad trying to play it off. He's just like, what?
Without question, the 4th quarterback off the board to a team.
Look, real quick, I just want to say, congrats, Michael Penix. First of all, yes, you're not starting right away, forever, but you get to learn from one of, top 10 quarterbacks in the league, maybe top 15, definitely top 30 quarterbacks in the league, and you're gonna sit behind him for 4 years. And honestly, I think that takes a lot of. Kirk Cousins will help alleviate a lot of difficulties he'll have early on, and if for some way he stays the 4 years on the bench holding that clipboard, I think not only will he come out and be polished after that, I think he'll have, first of all, they shortened his career by, his starting career by a fucking, what would seem like a decade to these guys, because, they're only young so long. So This was such a brain farter, and you know, I hope Michael Penix the best of luck, man. But yeah, bruh, the Falcons, dog. You guys are clowns, bunch of buffoons.
Him, but when you look at the tape, super clean pushing the ball down the field, pocket
Right.
awareness,
So
anticipation.
the Chicago Bears.
I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here.
With the 9th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Rome Odunze, wide receiver,
Their
Washington.
third weapon.
So the guys
Their
who
third
came
weapon,
on the
so
same flight from Los Angeles
they will
commercially
be.
are gonna
They're
hop
stacked on wide
Air
receiver.
McCaskey
You got
to go to Chicago
Keenan Allen.
together. And Caleb Williams
This fucking
drafted
guy.
first overall into an offense that already
Moore.
had Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
Am I worried?
Will have Rome
my Packers?
Odunze at
Absolutely
his
not.
disposal this fall. What a windfall!
Because
for
I
the
know
Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams
for
1,
a fact.
Rome Odunze 9.
For
Caleb
a
Williams has
fact.
already been throwing with Rome
that
Odunze
Caleb
and Keenan
Williams,
Allen. Maybe he saw the future of where this thing was going. But you talk
at
about
best,
transforming
is gonna
an
be
offense in one offseason. I don't know if there's a bigger
starter.
transformation than one that's taking place in
But
Chicago
no better
right
than
now.
that.
Remember the discussion going in, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Remember Olu Fashanu played there with Caleb Williams in high school.
But this guy in
What the
college,
Chicago Bears are
Washington, he
doing
was catching
in the first
passes from
couple
Penix.
Tell you what's really underrated here. Keenan Allen, known as one of the great route runners coming into the league, and then as he's
How
been
much
in
of
the
that
league,
was Penix
Rome
and how much
Odunze,
of that
one
was
the-
this
One of
guy?
the areas of improvement is really fine-tuning the routes. But the footwork, when he wants to, he's outstanding. It's just doing it on a consistent basis. It's learning to play to his top speed. But when you look at Keenan Allen,
got the
he's
size,
a guy who is
definitely.
able to play faster than his time speed. The thing with Rome Odunze I really love is he can work from every position, including the slot.
No,
When
he's
the ball
more of a
goes up,
50-50.
it turns into about an 80-20.
50-50
He has
wide receiver.
amazing body control in the air. You'll always see the arm extension and going
2
to
feet.
snatch the ball with strong hands
Tippy
outside
toes.
of his
Beautiful.
frame. Right there, he showed you a little double move. He's got better
He doesn't
speed
seem
than
so
you think
fast.
because he doesn't always play to that top speed. That's what I saw right there. That little whip route shows the ability to become a more refined route runner, in my opinion. But the ball tracking, the winning the ball, when the ball goes up, he can win contested catches underneath. He can take the slant and go and give you some yardage out of the slot, or he can just beat you down the field, which is something that we saw a lot from Michael Penix, his quarterback, is, hey, throw it up to Rome and let Rome go do something with it. And Rome usually did something with it.
So how about the most prolific quarterback wide receiver duo in college football over the course of the last 2 seasons, going back-to-back picks? Penix at 8 to the Falcons, and now Odunze at 9, whose new quarterback shared a flight to Detroit with him. Good news is, no souls perished.
The Vikings moved up 1 spot with the Jets. They flipped the Jets a 4th and a 5th on Saturday for the right to move up 1 spot. And we are assuming it is to take
This is what
J.J.
you-
McCarthy.
Yeah,
As
if you
Michael
want him, go
Penix
get him.
Was selected by the Falcons.
Want him, go get him.
About 20 minutes ago. Here's the commissioner to make it official.
To help make the Minnesota Vikings selection, we are honored to have with us the surviving mother, brothers, and nephew of fallen hero, United States Army Sergeant Zachary Ewing. Zachary died after a battle with cancer, a cancer that was discovered after he was injured during his 2nd deployment to Iraq. We salute him and thank his family.
Damn, a
and
second
TAPS,
tour?
the Tragedy Assistance
Yeah,
Program
props, bro.
for
That's
survivors, which
a
offers
beast.
care to those grieving the loss of a military loved one. I'm now going to turn this over to Sergeant Ewing's nephew, Asher, who will announce the pick in honor of his uncle.
With the 10th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select
J.J. McCarthy.
quarterback, Michigan.
Damn.
And a huge
That's,
ovation from the Wolverine heavy crowd here in Detroit, just down the road.
If you look at Kevin O'Connell,
Van Buren Township, Michigan.
and you look at JJ
He
McCarthy,
is going to Minnesota.
they feel like they're related
And
somehow.
he
So
is the
I have no
quarterback of
doubt
the Minnesota
that
Vikings, joining a room with
he's
Sam
going to be
Darnold,
he's in
who was
a
signed
really good
earlier.
spot.
Cold weather, tough rebuild, tough division. You
Instant
could go to the
starter.
Giants.
I don't
That's a
see
tough
anyone
rebuild as well.
in
He
their
goes
team
to
right
Kevin
now
O'Connell's
beating him
offense.
out,
This
but-
is tailor-made. And
Yeah,
the thing that really
he's-
stands
yeah.
out about J.J. McCarthy, you got to start with intangibles.
The team is his
Teams
oyster
love
right
the
now.
fact he was 63-3, dating all the way back to high school and through college. He has been a winner. And when I
63-3,
say
what a
winner,
winner.
it's not to be taken lightly because he's got great command and confidence on the
Yeah, I
field.
mean, at some
He
point,
takes
you gotta
every
like,
slight, puts it in
there's
his,
a-
in his
there's a
little memory
constant,
box, and he goes out and tries to get you back for
10.
that. He can run the ball outside of the pocket, so he has that ability.
And that's the thing, like,
he
I didn't-
has the ability
he
to
has
really,
he
throw
has,
with anticipation in the middle of the field.
he has
I think he's
sneaky
he's a quarterback
athleticism.
who does a really nice job of throwing on the run, incredibly accurate on rollout passes, and that could be some old school Mike.
He still got JJ. That Addison kid is developing really good. He had a good rookie year. He added this guy. They got to revamp the run game, which I don't think they're gonna do. So Vikings, get ready for a beatdown next year. I think you guys drafted well, but not good enough. Good enough.